ago today, on January 29th, 1999, my younger brother, Michael D. Russell, donated one of his kidneys to me so that I could live and continue to do what I'm doing right now. I'm absolutely convinced. That's right. You can play that applause for him. I'm absolutely convinced that had it not been for my brother's tremendous gift of love, I would not have made it to now. I was on dialysis at the time. I was able to come off of dialysis to get healthier, to do some things. And our very special guest right now is the kidney donor who helped save my life, my younger brother, Michael D. Russell. And Big Mike, always good to talk to you. Thank you for the kidney, and thank you for being on the show.
Thanks. So glad to be here. Glad to be there then, and glad to be here 19 years later.
Absolutely. Let me just throw it out there. I had contracted renal failure, which is kidney failure. I think I got my first signs of it in like 1994, 1995. I was in disbelief. By 1998, I was on dialysis for most of that year. And they said that I could get a kidney transplant either by going on the list and waiting for a cadaver or a living related. And when I said that to you, you immediately said that you would do it. Well, of course, I thank you and love you for that. But could you tell me a little bit about what went into your decision to actually give your kidney to me to help save me?
Well, Cliff, initially, you were always a role model and a leader. So, when you see an opportunity to help someone who's helped you throughout so many things, but of course your life, it should be a no-brainer, as they say. And so, in this instance, and I guess now because I am on air, I get a chance to say this to all the big brothers out there who are listening. I mean, it's important that you set good examples for your younger brothers because so often they follow in the footsteps that you give. And you have given so many good footsteps and examples for me to follow throughout my life that to see you in a physically declining and crisis status, if we have a chance to help, I was thrilled to be able to help someone who had helped me so many times throughout my upbringing. So, that was the initial thought was, could I get a chance to help Cliff this time? And, and then from the medical and psychological standpoint, I mean, the doctors and the social workers and the people at the hospital, they kind of assist you through the process and kind of discuss with you about the impact of it on your life as a donor and the opportunity you have to get out of it if you don't want to do it. And, to make sure you're fully understanding of all the different issues that are involved. And the more I found out about it, the more I was inclined to go forward because, other than the actual surgery and the downtime of recovery, I always jokingly say that the greatest testimony to the difficulty of organ donation is that if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know.
Right.
I mean, I've gone through my whole life playing basketball, cutting grass, picking leaves, doing everything I normally did, eating watermelon, eating barbecue ribs, everything I normally did, without there being any impediment to my normal lifestyle. So for those who, have family members that are in need of kidney donation in particular, I can be a living example that, it's a very, significant surgery, no doubt. It's a big deal. But afterwards, you recover and you get back into life.
Let me jump in right there because I don't know if people understand. When my brother Mike donated his kidney to me, the operation was much more traumatic to his body than to mine. They cut me open. They found my, urethra, took Mike's kidney, connected it, sewed me back up, and I was on my way. Didn't they have to cut off a part of your rib to get to your kidney in order to take it out?
They did, and that was, of course, 1999. And my understanding is that there have been additional advances in the actual surgical procedure, where it's now not even as invasive now as it was then. But there makes a significant trauma to the body. You take a major surgery like that. And, what happens is you have two kidneys that are roughly equivalent in size. And when they remove the one kidney, the other kidney expands to handle the load of the body. And so, I mean, there actually been some changes inside my body, but as I jokingly say, it wasn't like something that I see every day. You know, I know what's going on inside of me, but it didn't have any real, you know, emotional or traumatic impact on me. And I only had one kidney. It's still doing the function of two, and you know, and the body is able to adapt and adjust, and you go forward and have a healthy, active life.
When I was on dialysis throughout the year of 1998, Mike, there were a number of other people on dialysis who had more siblings than we had. And several of them told me that none of their siblings were willing to be tested to donate a kidney. And I asked why. And, you know, in some cases they weren't getting along, but in most cases it was because the siblings were just afraid. What do you say to folks who might be in a position to donate a kidney or an organ to someone, but they're just afraid as to what it may do to themselves?
You know, I've been actively involved with the Minority Organ and Tissue Transplant Education Program, or MOTEP, Gift of Life. And they address that on a regular basis through church, school, civic discussions. And there are a variety of reasons people are scared or hesitant to be kidney donors. Some of them are fearful of the physical impact in their bodies. Some have religious or spiritual reasons. They think that you know, they'll need their organs in the afterlife. Others feel that mutilation of the organs is a abomination. You know, so there's a number of reasons that people have, and I don't want to discount that for each individual person. But from a pragmatic standpoint, from a, you know, just a grassroots, you know, street level basis, if you're just scared because you don't want to do it, I mean, you'll have much, you know, more difficult surgeries in a lot of other areas. If you, like, I've broken my knees. That was much harder than giving a kidney. You know, I mean, the surgery itself, you know, as with any surgery, you know, start at 99, start counting backwards, you know, before you know it, you wake up, the surgery's over, you know, and you're just basically going through the recovery process of the muscles heal. So it really is not a dramatically painful surgery at all, other than just getting the recovery, getting your muscles, everything back into shape. And I believe within 2 months of the surgery, I was back on Wayne State's basketball court playing pickup basketball.
Wow. You know, I think I might have been there with you too.
Yeah, you know, and you know, it was a little gimpy. It was kind of a little bit sore, but before you know it, I was back, you know, back playing shoot hoops and living an active, normal life. And so those who are scared, I mean, there's a lot of things you can be scared of that could literally be much more painful or much more, you know, ominous than being a kidney donor. And then the afterwards is the joy and the benefit of knowing you've helped save someone who you love and helping them have a better and active life.
You definitely saved my life, and I appreciate and love you for that too. Our very special guest on the line, Michael D. Russell. That is my younger brother. And I'll say it again, 19 years ago today, Mike donated his kidney to me, and I had kidney transplant surgery. We both have been doing great since that time. And I hope you will call in 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. First of all, to thank Mike. I have thanked him repeatedly throughout our lives and will continue to do so. But I want you all to do it too. 313-778-7600. Call Mike Russell and tell him thank you for donating your kidney. Unless you don't like me, and then you might be upset that he did it. But if you are for what's right, then give Mike a call, 313-778-7600. What was the testing like? How did they know that you were a match to donate your kidney to me?
Well, again, I don't know what the current medical standard is now. Again, the technology has increased so dramatically over the last 20 years. But at that time, there was a 6-point system they had to match. You had to have, it was a maximum of 6 different areas that had to match. You could have a minimum of 3 areas that could match. And I believe it was blood type and a variety of other factors that, again, that the medical professionals knew about. And in this case, they just basically draw blood, you know, and you know, do a analysis of your blood type and whatever other, you know, enzymes or you know, biological activities that are going on inside your body through the blood. And they found that I had the minimum 3 matches that were required. So it was determined that I was a match. And that was really all that, you know, I knew about it was that there were 6 points that had to could match, a minimum of 3. I had the 3. And it's always good when you have a family member do it. But it doesn't have to be a family member. It could be a total stranger, which of course would be kind of, interesting if you donate a kidney to a total stranger. But I mean, it could be, it could be anyone could do it. And I've actually heard of friends or student teachers or colleagues doing the testing and finding out they're a match for a friend. Mm-hmm. And so that works out fine too. So in our case, it was just fortuitous that it was a minimum 3 match. And the other thing that the doctors told me, which I kind of chuckled about, was that of course they test your kidneys to see how strong and healthy they are. And he told me I had pickup truck kidneys. He said, they were good, strong, healthy kidneys, and they would work out just fine. So I was happy about that.
Well, it has worked out fine for me for 19 years now, and I am extremely appreciative.
I also have to jokingly say, Cliff, one of the other issues too was, when you had this kidney failure and there was concern about you, losing your life, you had 6 young kids,
Yes.
And I began to weigh the burden of, if Cliff dies, I gotta take care of them 6 kids. And they all big, hungry kids too. They gonna eat me out of house and home. I gotta make sure Cliff stays alive to take care of his kids.
So you donating your kidney was an investment in your future too, huh?
I'd rather give a kidney to have to give all that time and money and care for them 6 kids. So I'd rather help all the best I can. And I'm glad it worked out. And of course, for the kids to all have their dad, it was a blessing in itself. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, we got callers on the line, and I'm encouraging folks to call 313-778-7600. I got my brother, Mike Russell, on the line 19 years ago today. Mike donated his kidney to me, and we are both doing fine. I wouldn't have been around now had it not been for Mike. I am absolutely, utterly convinced of that. And so please call and tell Mike thank you and for his courage. One other thing I'm going to ask you before I get to these callers. You had a wife and a couple of kids of your own at that time. Was this a family decision that was made? And what were your thoughts about, I've got my own family, and I'm about to undergo this procedure to help my brother?
Look, I think that was the key point. The key word you said is family. And, when you have a family dilemma like this, the family has to come together, and make decisions based on, a family unit. And I had a wife and 2 children. And, they had an uncle in you, or a brother-in-law. But also another interesting thing was we had a mom and a dad.
Yes.
And so mom and dad had to sit through the difficulty of not just one son in surgery, but of 2 sons in surgery. So it was really, very concerning for them as well, too, to know that, both their sons were at peril at that time. But, when you think of the importance of family, and my wife understood, my kids understood, we're doing this for our family. And sometimes the greater good of the whole is important. And I think that's probably something not just in organ donation, but in general, that is a important component of life. Because sometimes you have to, say, I want to go to the club, I want to, go out late, but I need to go home and read my kid a bedtime story. Mm-hmm. Whatever the circumstance might be, it just becomes a matter of placing the importance of family and of legacy and of heritage of family. And the rest of the family is a very strong bond. And so that's something that was, was considered, but it was considered in a positive as opposed to, well, I got my own wife and kids. Instead it was, hey, look, my brother needs me, and my brother, we need my brother collectively. And now my son and my wife and my daughter have all had a good, strong, healthy uncle, that is beneficial to them. So it wasn't just for me; it was for collectively for all of us because of your strength and your activity in the community and with that family.
All right. Well, this is my brother, folks. You can tell how fortunate I am to have Mike as my brother, and I love my other brothers as well. But right now, we're going to talk about Mike. Give me a call, 313-778-7600.